Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Reggie Lewis Track and Athletics Center for another production of Roxbury Community College basketball. Right now we got the men's game on the second end of a doubleheader as RCC's taking on Bunker Hill. Bunker Hill controls the opening tap. Going to the basket and heading to the free throw line is Tevin Charles for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, a lot of local players. First thing that, first thing I noticed, Pat, with Boston and Cambridge are both teams. A lot of local players. Tevin from Cambridge himself.
And Charles rattles home the first free throw. Charles knocks down both. So Bunker Hill on top, 2-0 here to start off the ball game.
Full court pressure by Bunker Hill. It's going to be a travel there.
That time it was Mike Hodges who shuffled his feet. We just saw the Roxbury Community College women's basketball team, the Lady Tigers, drop their national championship banner.
And get an impressive win. We will not say the score.
No. Too many numbers to say when we say the score.
Yeah, Bunker Hill's coming out aggressive. Everything to the basket. 2 possessions, 2 strong drives to the basket.
Zach Goddard now at the free throw line for Bunker Hill. He knocks down the first. Zach, a good long-range shooter for Bunker Hill. He was a good three-point shooter for East Boston High School a couple years ago.
Yeah, RCC make me a little nervous off to a really shaky start. A travel on their first possession, and then on that defensive rebound, just couldn't grab the ball.
They try to feed it inside.
Nice steal.
Stolen away by the Tigers. The pass underneath Hodges. He's able to complete that pass. Excuse me, that was Lawrence Cherry with the bucket.
Cherry finished it off. I'll tell you that RCC wants to run a quick pace.
Charles tries to feed it inside to Goddard, but it's knocked out of bounds.
Slight size advantage for Bunker Hill, but I think speed is going to be the main factor in this game as you look at how the teams match up. Straight man-to-man for RCC.
The drive here for Bunker Hill, but it resulted in an offensive foul. That was Francois trying to go to the rim.
And again, another strong move to the basket. That time he got a little out of control. Francois played it English.
RCC almost with the turnover at half court. That goes out of bounds. We'll stay with the Tigers. One thing we haven't mentioned so far is the Tigers have a brand new head coach this season, Jelani Townsend, in his first year as the head man at RCC. And that three is good this time for RCC. That's Suleiman Barry knocking it down from deep.
I'll give him a 2 on that. But also an inbound violation by Bunker Hill. Get the ball right back to RCC. So I guess both teams have some jitters. Early season, first game for RCC. Officials trying to sort out the clock had a slight mishap. Now it's straightened out.
I think somebody hit the power strip.
Right, no, everything went dark for a quick second.
That time Barry was well off the mark on that jumper.
The pace of this game, you can't afford to have the clock out at all.
Goddard no good on the drive. Great crossover.
Nice move inside.
Unable to finish that time was Francois. Broadway.
It's funny, but you can almost tell the anxiety of these guys. Early season want to get their first real competition. I was talking to Ernie Hughes, the assistant coach for RCC. He said they had a good scrimmage against Quincy College, but the guys get sort of sick of beating each other up in scrimmage in practice.
And Barry once again putting it home for RCC, this time off the window. The pass inside, layup is good.
I tell you, the pace, Pat, this pace is going to be something. I think that the guys coming off the bench are going to be key because there's no way these starters can keep going up and down like this. We've only played, what, 2 minutes and 15 seconds. We got some tired people out there already. And these are college players.
Ansel Medegny was the one who got the layup. He'll now try for a three-point play. And Medegny no good from the free throw line. Putback is good from
Tevin's a strong player. He's a guard, but he jumps well. He's a really strong hands.
Barry. Most thought about going coast to coast.
Nice move. Behind the back pass. Freed up. Mosley.
So Mosley with his first bucket. 8-7. Tigers on top. And that'll go off of RCC back to Bunker Hill.
Both teams pretty deep as RCC has 5 players on their bench and Bunker Hill has about 7. So fatigue will not be an issue as both coaches can go deep into their benches. There's Goddard, like you said, Pat, deep shooter.
Yeah, he's not afraid to launch it.
Nice drive. Wow. Just couldn't have. Took off too soon.
Yeah,
half step too soon. Couldn't quite get it up.
Yeah, Lawrence Cherry unable to finish it over the top.
It's going to be a blocking foul.
That was Francois on the drive.
I'm just amazed at how aggressive this Bunker Hill team is going to the basket. That three by Goddard was the only outside shot they even attempted. I mean, everything else has been to the rim, to the rim.
That foul was on Lawrence Cherry. That's his second personal foul.
That's what I was going to say. It's going to be a challenge for RCC in terms of foul trouble because key guys, you can't have them sitting out too long. But I think Bunker Hill's decided, listen, we're going to challenge everything going toward the basket, make them either stop us or let us get layups. Coming in for RCC, we're going to see Emer Ortiz played at Brighton.
So RCC with a 1-point lead over Bunker Hill here in the early going. And you mentioned the up and down pace. Already four team fouls for RCC in the first 3 minutes and change.
That's the going hard to the hoop. I mean, RCC's got to move their feet. They got to, if they're going to challenge, they got to go straight up in the air. Can't be reaching at all because with this, as strong as these guys are, a reach is going to turn into a foul.
Yeah, that ball stolen away by
RCC. Good job.
RCC. That was Deron Broadway with the theft, and now it's a RCC looking to add to this 1-point lead. Broadway well off the mark. Ortiz there, back to Broadway. A lot of contact, no whistle there for the Tigers. Francois. It's going to be an offensive foul.
Underneath, yeah, Francois
looks like it's on Goddard.
Yeah, one of those guys was pushing underneath.
Now coming in for Bunker Hill is Mike Richardson.
More size. Richardson's listed at 6'5". Nice steal.
Goddard down the other end with a two-handed flush. And Coach Townsend wants a timeout here. 16:07 left to go in the first half.
He's got to be unhappy about the sloppiness with the ball handling. It's not because it's not a real tight full court pressure that from Bunker Hill. It's sort of token pressure. and what it's doing is it's speeding up the RCC guards, and they've made some sort of ill-advised passes.
As I mentioned, Coach Townsend, his first season as the head coach for the RCC
Came from
Tigers.
Newman Prep, right? He's
Newberry College.
Newberry, I'm sorry,
For the
Newberry.
past 5 seasons.
He was there for a while.
Was the head men's basketball coach there. Led his team to 2 NECC conference semifinals appearances. So certainly always a breath of fresh air when a new coach comes in. Everybody always likes to kind of hit the reset button and get things going again.
That's right, and it's the opposite of the women's program where we talked earlier about how their coach has been around 10 years, okay, and obviously got the national championship last year. But you're right, new excitement, new energy. I mean, which I think what you have to like about the RCC team, you look at the roster, virtually everyone from Boston. I mean, a couple of exceptions, but and a lot of them are familiar players who we've seen play high school ball. Sure. You got to swing the ball.
And then we got a foul top of the key. That's Tevin Charles with a reach in.
Yeah, reached in a little bit.
He bailed out Deron Broadway. He was trapped up top.
He was trapped, and this game has started so aggressively. I mean, it's physical underneath, the rebounding, the quickness outside.
Ortiz tries the up and under. Feed it inside. Francois gets the basket and one.
Nice cut and better pass. Richardson, beautiful bounce pass to lead Francois right to the rim. I mean, both teams are using a lot of energy, but so far, Bunker Hill slight edge in terms of their execution.
And Francois knocks down the free throw for a 3-point play. 4-point lead now for Bunker Hill off the steal. Scoring the layup was Mike Richardson.
These turnovers by RCC are killing them. Like I said, it's not. Well, this one's more of aggressive press.
And we got another foul at half court. That one
again. Yeah.
Francois.
That's Francois. Okay.
Another foul that looked like it sort of bailed out RCC.
Looks like here comes 3 more Bunker Hill players. Fresh legs.
Yeah, we got
Taris Wilson,
Jakari Trueheart.
Yeah.
And also Roy Sweats.
Remember Trueheart from last year? He played a lot last season, so coming off the bench in this game.
Now 3-pointer off the back rim. Here comes Trueheart. Sweets. Top of the key, buries the jumper.
Yeah, timeout again, because that was a total breakdown to half court. You can't, there's no way you can give a guy a wide open jumper from the foul line.
9-0 run now for Bunker Hill. It was just 5 minutes and change gone by in the first quarter. First half.
First half, that's right.
Still used to the women's game.
Yeah, exactly. Men stays a half, women win 2 quarters. You got to be impressed, but I mean, early in the season, early games for both teams. First game for RCC, and they got to work out some kinks. The main thing is that these unforced turnovers, when you're just trying to inbound the ball, get the ball up court, you gotta have that. Cut that out before long.
And as you mentioned, Alan, too, it's not necessarily an intense full court pressure from Bunker Hill.
No, it really isn't. I mean, the last time they did jump into the aggressive, but you beat that with a couple of quick passes. A ball fake one direction, pass it opposite, then as you pass it across court, swing the ball, you have a wide open shot. But RCC is not being able to get the ball in the front court to even achieve that. Now watch this. This has to go to the wing. There you go. Now get back. See, that's where the problem's been. You get the ball, and the players are trying to dribble first instead of looking. If they look up, as soon as you get it, look opposite. Something's going to be open. If it's not open, then you have room to dribble. A well-executed press makes the opposition feel like there's 6 players out there. If the defense is in the right position at all times, nice pass. Suleiman can't quite finish that.
Try to feed it inside to Wilson. Stolen away that time by Hollister Elliott. Ortiz, good look inside to Barry.
Yeah.
Couldn't hang on to the pass. Easy bucket inside that time for Ed Degby.
For some reason, you get the RCC kids playing a step off. I'm not sure why, because they get themselves in trouble defensively. Well, just like that, they're down 10.
Deep three off the back rim that time from Hollister Elliott.
Watch Wilson, he'll go to the basket. Oh yeah.
Harris unable to convert, but he'll hit to the free throw line.
Remember him from what, 4 years ago at Charlestown? Going hard to the basket.
I half expected that to be a dunk about halfway from the free throw line.
But the key is, okay, he's coming into the game like 7 minutes in, fresh, totally fresh. So any open floor that he sees, he's going to charge right to the rim.
And Wilson no good on the first.
Yeah, for RCC, they've got to just settle down a bit. You know, nice crowd for opening night for them, but they've got to trust each other and be under control. So this is, it's again, too much dribbling.
Ortiz underneath gets a shot blocked inside by Wilson. Here comes Towers.
Beautiful pass, beautiful pass. He missed the layup.
Layup off, tap in. The second time is good by Richardson.
I mean, you're not used to seeing a team get out hustled at home, especially the first game of the season. But
the lead has ballooned to 12 here for Bunker Hill, and RCC's been stuck on 8 points for a while.
Yeah, it was 8-7. Now it's 20-8. Okay, now they're going to take the time for the press breaker. There you go. Look opposite. There you go. Yep.
10-second violation by Roxbury Community College.
Well, I'll tell you, at least that time they executed well. They didn't do it quick enough, but they finally took their time and didn't turn the ball over. I mean, they now at least know what they got to do. Just got to do it faster, get the ball up court. If they do it quick enough, they'll get a layup opportunity.
Degby from the elbow.
He's done it all, right? He missed the very first shot he took on the baseline, but since then he's been okay. Got move, slide over. Ball got kicked out of bounds, so back to Bunker Hill.
Degby will head to the bench. It's a welcome sign for RCC as Degby.
But if you watch what Bunker Hill's doing, they're rotating guys, so they always have fresh people out there. Good patience.
Inside to Richardson.
Nice cut. Oh, yeah. For whatever reason, RCC, like I said before, they're taking a step away, and that time they're in the zone, they get beat to the basket. That's not going to work.
Ortiz with the runner. Here comes Wilson out on the break. 4-on-2 for the Bulldogs.
Wow. That hesitation dribble freed him up.
So Jakari Trueheart with the layup. And now an 18-point lead for the Bunker Hill Bulldogs. Nice cut inside. Basket and one for the Tigers.
Breaking that long drought you talked about. That's their first hoop in quite some time.
That ends a 19-0 run.
They needed that badly. And it's good that it came off a pass. You know, I mean, he made a nice finish, but he got a good baseline pass to get to the basket.
Cherry unable to hit the free throw. Barry there for the putback. Right. That cuts the lead down to 14.
Yeah, back-to-back hoops by RCC. They got to do it on this end. Defensive end has been where they've been really getting stung. Gonna be a trip. One of those things that's just hard to corral all the energy you have, because if you're RCC, you want to come back, and you got to do it on both ends, defense and offense. So sometimes that's sort of a silly foul to put them in the bonus, actually.
So now at the free throw line is Roy Sweets. He's shooting a 1-on-1. Sweets can't hit the first. Taris Wilson offensive rebound and putback.
Those long arms. Got to put a body on Taris at all times.
Great pass inside, but the layup is no good. Here comes Wilson again in the open floor. Trueheart from the corner. That three well off the mark. It goes off of Wilson, and it'll stay with RCC.
The 2-3 zone in the half court by Bunker Hill has been really effective because they're sliding their feet, taking away driving lanes. Double dribble on that one. She's just a little over anxious.
Yeah, Detrell Robinson probably should have just gone right up. Right.
Yeah.
And now RCC with a substitution. Mike Hodges coming back in.
Yeah.
As Hollister Elliott heads to the bench.
Another one of those funny things about, like you mentioned, first-year coach. All the players are trying to show the coach what they can do in the first game. And sometimes you just get a little over-anxious.
Taris Wilson lines up a three.
Look ahead, look ahead.
Sweats. And they're going to call him.
Oh, wow. Call a block on that. See, two officials blew the whistle, but the baseline official let the outside guy make the call.
The basket is good.
Yeah.
And now Sweets will be back at the free throw line. And Sweets completes the three-point play.
And a timeout by Bunker Hill.
Back to a 19-point lead for the Bulldogs here midway through the first half. It's just a 30-second timeout for Bunker Hill.
So are we looking at some revenge for what happened in the girls' game, or what? I mean, this Bunker Hill team has come out here firing.
Yeah, and it's almost like they're playing angry, especially even offensively.
Yeah, it's early in the season. They have, like you said, they have a full roster, bunch of players over there, and they're all clearly bought in because they've run, what, 11 guys in so far.
So coming out of the timeout. It'll be RCC with the basketball, trailing by 19. Ortiz got his shot stuffed inside, but RCC hangs on to it. Back up top to Barry. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Floater no good off the front rim that time from Lawrence Cherry. Three-pointer well off the mark that time from C.J. McIntosh. Up and under, layup no good. That was a good drive that time by Broadway.
Yeah.
Taris Wilson. Offensive foul on
Good
Taris.
job. Good job. Is taking the hit. Ortiz set himself, knew he was going to get run over. Yeah, I think RCC would be better off letting Berry go down in the front court. He'd been coming back to help out to break the press, but let him go into the front court so he can be a finisher.
Ortiz for three.
Yeah, Solomon he was there actually. Good patience by Bunker Hill.
Trueheart, deep three. Rattles in and out. Barry now with it. Trying to get it up to Ortiz.
Nice save.
Cherry on the drive, short with the runner. And Wilson almost was able to pick that up for a fast break. He does this time. Up to Sweets, and Barry's whistle for the foul.
Yeah, the energy's there for RCC. They're just having a tough time trying to convert. You see some good ideas with the passes. They're either just not quite there or they're a split second late. Some of their shots inside, their floaters have been short. I think the pace might be just getting to them because they don't have as many players coming off the bench. Just like that, you get a 20-point game.
Sweets knocks down the first free throw. He'll have one more. And short with the second one. Barry off the up fake. And lost it on his way inside the paint.
Might be his third foul, too.
Nothing coming easy for RCC here in the first half.
Yeah, that's his third foul. Yeah. He's the only size they really have. He better sit down.
Yeah, it looks like Hollister Elliott's going to come in for Barry. And Sweets again at the free throw line. Seems like he's been there all night.
Well, you know, the thing is, the Bunker Hill on their offense, the ball's moving so well. I mean, that time was a foul to the backcourt, but still, they're aggressive. Their whole approach is everything to the basket. I mean, they took a charge and foul last time. That's okay. Now they're coming back with their starters.
And Sweets knocks down the second. Another substitution. And coming back in is Francois as Sweets heads to the bench.
I'll tell you, it's going to be a real challenge for first-year coach Jelani Townsell in his first game, trying to figure out a way to come back in this one.
Good move to the bucket and the foul that time.
And the key to the whole thing, Pat, was under control. That's the difference. He was under control.
Deron Broadway. Now looking to complete a three-point play. And he knocks that down. Got the lead back down to 19 here with 8 minutes left to go in the half. Wide open for three and knocking that one down is C.J. McIntosh. And another turnover by the Tigers.
Okay, trying to figure out shooters is impossible, Pat. The first shot he took was an air ball, and this one's drains it. There's another air ball. So that means he'll make the next one,
yeah,
right?
That's right. So he'll be left open next time, and he'll hit it.
The RCC has a huge mountain to climb.
Cherry wide open in the corner. Nice move to the rim, and he just can't finish. That's been the story of the first half.
Just over anxious. Like you said, really nice move. Got the big guy on skates.
Goddard with a nice feed inside to Johnny Hilaire.
It's almost as if Bunker Hill just has a lot of like in-between players who know how to drive, dish, can shoot, can go to the basket. But like you said, Goddard, who we've always known as a shooter, that time slashed to the basket, had his shot taken away, found his cutting teammate for an easy layup.
And for free throw is good from Hoster Elliott. No good on the second free throw. Francois with the rebound. Francois laying it down to Tevin Charles.
Yeah, Tevin's got wide shoulders, knows how to finish at the hoop. This is going to be another 1-and-1. Actually, there'll be two shots. Double bonus on both teams. See all that aggressive play we talked about earlier, and now with 6:46 to go in the half, both teams are in double bonus.
Mike Hodges now at the free throw line for RCC, shooting 2. And Mike is able to hit the first. Hodges, another Charlestown player. 5'10" wing for RCC. That foul was on Zach Goddard. Hodges knocks down the second. Richardson from the corner, no good on the 3. Broadway now looking to push it up the floor.
Swing, there you go.
That 3 no good. Ortiz, and then it's Cherry who's able to get it back. Elliott, and that's a bad turnover there by Elliott. Here comes Goddard. Charles unable to save it. So RCC.
Back-to-back bad passes. I mean, they got a gift on that one. You're right. Because Charles is by himself on going to the hoop.
Ortiz trying to drive baseline. Nice feed inside for the easy bucket. That was Mike Hodges with the layup.
Funny too, because I thought Ortiz was really going to shoot that, but he lost his balance temporarily. That's going to be Tevin threw out his body for an illegal pick. So second chance in the half for the RCC to put together back-to-back hoops. Now you can't float those.
Richardson unable to finish. Goddard there for the putback. Bunker Hill just out hustling RCC right now.
There you go. You really want to describe this half so far. That's all it's been.
And you can't dribble out of pressure like that. Now it's Goddard. Charles inside to Goddard.
Nice pass. I'd say Tevin's having a half.
Lead now back to 25 for Bunker Hill. Almost another turnover.
Look up court.
Ortiz for 3.
There you go. He's been waiting to try to get that open shot and finally did. This last 5 minutes of the half of RCC has got to be defensive oriented. Got to be. Step up.
Hilaire unable to hit it, but offensive
yeah.
rebound was a killer. Charles for three, got it to go.
And then you were talking about being out hustled. That hustle play led to a wide open three for Tevin.
Three from the corner, that time no good. Here comes Charles again. And that wide open three off the back iron from Jannard Jones. 4:15 left to go here in the first half. RCC having trouble getting anything going here. That one off the window that time from Broadway. And stolen away by Ortiz.
Look up, look up, look up. Oh, had a teammate the other side.
Taking himself.
Wow. That's tough. They had Lawrence Cherry cut into the basket wide open on the opposite wing.
Got her on the cut.
Well, long arms, huh? Those long arms help when you're in traffic.
Back to a 25-point lead for Bunker Hill. Ortiz fires up another three. That one around the rim and out. Richardson on the drive.
Look up.
And Cherry out on the break. Goddard inside to Hilaire. You can't trade baskets if you're down by 25 points.
But the biggest problem is they have no, RCC has no size out there. So anything to the basket for Bunker Hill is going to pretty much be open. So you talk about how unforgiving basketball can be. Here you get RCC at home thinking they're making a little bit of a run. Down 25 because they just can't do anything defensively. They're going to give the other big kid on the bench, Daniel Ortega, going to give him his first chance in the game because Berry can't come back yet. He has 3 fouls, so you got to save him for the second half. But if you notice, Pat, outside of those wide open threes, everything else has been right to the rim for Bunker Hill.
You're RCC right now. You're down by 25, just under 3 minutes left to go. You got to think they're almost setting the goal of just let's try to at least get under 20 before halftime.
They actually want to get close to 15. Yeah, definitely under 20, right? But you get, and the thing about it is you get 2 or 3 stops. It's not that hard to do. It's just they've made some silly. They still make some silly mistakes with the passes.
Right.
And that's not going to do it for you.
Since that opening run they had offensively early in the first half.
They're up 8-7.
Since then, I don't think they've had back-to-back baskets.
It's been what was it, 19-0 run that Bunker Hill put on them.
Yep.
Ortiz did get that one deep 3 from the corner, but wasn't able to hit the last 2 he tried.
We'll see what RCC can do here with just under 3 minutes left to go in the first half.
They got to realize everything can't be a 3 because those are, even though they can get you back in the game, they're also the lowest percentage shots. See, that zone is sliding really well. There you go. Oh, wow.
And
just take it, shoot it.
Cherry is going to be called for the shuffle of the feet. Richardson again looking for Taris Wilson inside.
Good rebound. Swing. There you go.
Ortega,
nice move.
Nice strong drive.
Yeah, nice rebound on the defensive end and finished off it down there.
3 for Trueheart.
Rebound. Not sure why he was sitting so long. Maybe he's had some issues with practice or something.
Ortiz going after the rebound, and he fouls Digby.
Double bonus.
So Imar Ortiz with the personal foul, his first. And some Digby at the free throw line. And
two shots.
Double bonus, he'll have one more. Digby had several buckets early on in the game, and then hasn't really scored very much since, but he hasn't needed to.
Right, yeah, he sat. That Nkrumah Jones, head coaches, they're running guys in and out pretty well.
And another turnover by the Tigers. Wilson inside to Digby.
Quick jumping. Wow, talk about a quick jump. Digby jumped twice before any of the RCC kids could get up. That'll be a hell of a ball, goes back to RCC.
Tigers still down by 23, 1:25 left to go here in the first half.
This is where, like you said, you want back-to-back hoops. Travel again.
Ortega.
Wow, these guys, that's the anxiety. You're just over-anxious. You see the opening.
Right.
You know you need the point so bad. Don't put the ball down first.
Ortega heads to the bench.
Had a decent couple minutes, though. Had a few rebounds, had a nice drive to the basket.
Digby not quite ready for the pass, and he's short with the shot.
Gotta run.
Here comes Elliott with a full head of steam, kicks it out.
Swing it.
Cherry for three, no good. But the rebound does come down to Broadway. RCC looking to work a possession here.
If they swing the ball quicker, they'll get wide open shots.
Broadway for three, around the rim and out.
That was just bad luck on that one. That was a good look.
1 second differential between the game clock and the shot clock.
Yeah, last shot time for Bunker Hill. Someone didn't get the memo.
And
but he made up for it,
putback.
though. Yeah, made up for it. They'll put bodies on these guys, though.
10 seconds left to go here in the half. Another turnover for the Tigers. 25-point lead for Bunker Hill. They could extend it with one more basket before the buzzer. They get it to Richardson. Is his tap in good?
It is good.
Yes, it is.
Wow. Talk about an impressive first half.
27-point lead for the Bunker Hill Bulldogs here at halftime. And just a lot of hustle here from this Bunker Hill team. They haven't stopped all half.
You can start and stop with that. Hey, you just finished the halftime wrap-up, Pat. A lot of hustle. Quotation marks. That's
right.
it.
I mean, it's really been that simple.
Offensive rebounding, cutting to the basket.
Right.
Can get the ball to the wide-open three-point shooters. I mean, basketball can be so simple when it's done right. And that's exactly what Bunker Hill's done the entire first half. I mean, think about it. It was 8-7. The game was 8-7, and Bunker Hill ran off 19 straight.
That's right. And you see offensively for Bunker Hill, too, every player on the floor is moving. There's constant movement. They're constantly cutting the basket. That's why they're getting open looks.
And the thing about it is when you watch the body language, it's like they're trusting each other. And that's what coaches always want. They say, listen, your teammate can do what you can do. So if he's in a bad position, he gets it. If you're in a bad position, you get it.
Right.
A lot of their hoops for Bunker Hill, cutting to the basket, follow-up tap-ins. All right, like you said, I think about that play about 3 minutes ago where RCC just got out-hustled for a loose ball on the opposite side of the floor. Bunker Hill swung the ball around, and Tevin Childs hit a wide-open three. Right. So you went from an RCC possible rebound and maybe fast break to giving up open three, a 5-point play.
Without
5-point difference.
5-point swing right there. And again, we just hustle on that offensive glass. And again, we're sort of echoing what we saw in the women's side of this doubleheader first off, where RCC was hustling and everybody was getting involved. And certainly the scores.
They made that game easy. They made that game easy real quick. But I tell you, this one isn't too far from that one because I mean RCC had a few moments, but. Well, they'll get Berry back. The big kid, Suleiman, he'll get back in the second half, and they definitely need his size inside. But Bunker, they've got to. RCC just got to just play better defense. We both noticed they were playing a step off the shooters for I don't know why because Bunker Hill was making shots. So a lot of talking. It's tough. First-year coach, first time in this atmosphere. For the players, clearly first time for them with him. So it works both ways, him with them and them with him. Right? So it's one of those
give and take, right.
You don't know what to expect, and in some cases, this is like the worst case scenario. Down 27 at home, opening game of the season.
Right, with the first game for the first-year coach.
And what are you going to do for the second half? You know, which players, like you always talk about, who's going to step up? To be a second or third option.
Sure, sort of the unexpected player to step up.
That's what RCC needs right now.
One thing that hurt them, too, in that first half was Suleiman Barry, really one of the few players with size in this team that went out. And then you look at the roster, and I don't know how accurate these heights are, but for Bunker Hill, there's guys that are listed at 6'8", 6'7", 6'4".
Let's just say much bigger, right. And there's a lot of them, too. That's the thing.
That's right.
A lot of them.
And you certainly saw RCC get out-rebounded a lot there in the first half, especially when Barry went out.
Oh, that'll continue unless we'll see RCC. They can take the chance and go straight man to man again, being undersized, but at least you'll be able to box. You know, put a body on a body. The problem with their zone was they weren't catching the big guys for Bunker Hill inside, and they were all going to the basket. It's a team game. We always talk about that, but Bunker Hill showed what happens when you move the ball, move the bodies, and like you said, just out-hustle your opponent. Without
question. And that's certainly why Bunker Hill has this 27-point lead here in the first half of play. Opening night here at RCC, and the women certainly had a great game with the monster numbers on the scoreboard for them, but then dropping that banner,
that's the best part of the night,
what they're going to remember. They'll remember that they got well over 100, but dropping that banner, it's going to be a long-lasting memory.
They'll remember a lot of the alumni players came back to help with the celebration, which was really nice to see. But you're right, the banner coming down, that was the highlight of the entire game for them, even though they won, just so convincingly.
There's certainly a fun night here at RCC. The men, however, are trailing at the half to Bunker Hill.
Hill to climb, huh?
Down by 27, but the game is not out of reach just yet.
A lot of the college basketball goes. I mean, it's one of those things. Now, the way the first half went, RCC will need some help from Bunker Hill. And what I mean by help is, not being as crisp or maybe getting a little overconfident, not quite with the same amount of hustle going after loose balls. If some of those plays start turning in RCC's way, and if RCC can hit some more of those threes, some open threes, then the game can get a bit closer. But the way Bunker Hill's playing, and I like the fact that the Bunker Hill coaches are running so many players in. All the players who come in, it's almost as if they realize, okay, I'll be out here for maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Let me make the most of it. And that's the kind of attitude we're seeing with them. They're all hustling. They're all, making themselves open. And they're all rebounding. They're all running the floor. And that's a tough team to beat, especially when they already have this big lead at halftime.
Without question. We talked about the head coach for Roxbury Community College, Townsville.
First year, yeah.
We mentioned before that he was at Newberry Community College, so it's not that he's not used to the community college atmosphere, but what are some of the things that he's got to get used to coming from a place like Newberry to a place like
what
RCC?
You said, you talked about this in the women's game, the tradition, all right, the fact that higher profile program, playing in different venues. Tonight, decent crowd for the first night for RCC, but the most difficult thing is they're new players. Okay, and that's and you can practice all you want. You can practice, you can even scrimmage, but you never know until the ball goes up on a real game. All right, in the real season. That's what's happening tonight. So there's a lot of mistakes. Maybe I'm just not sure, because again, first game of the season, no scouting's really been done. You have an idea of what Bunker Hill's bringing back in terms of their sophomores who were freshmen last year, but you don't know some of these freshmen for Bunker Hill are contributing. So it's one of those things that's just hard to figure out. Okay, what can we really expect? What can we tell our guys to look for? Right now, it's clear. Bunker Hill has more size. They have more players.
And
they're
more
moving the ball better, and more experience, and they're taking full advantage of it. So. But if I'm the new head coach, Jelani Thompson, I'll just tell, listen, guys, we need more effort.
Sure.
We need more effort. We can't allow this team to walk into our gym and get all these loose balls.
Right, because it's not like Bunker Hill was lining up threes and hitting them all first half. It was all hustle plays, all good movement offensively.
The hustle plays led to the open threes. And I think if that point is made to the RCC players, I mean, they all have pride. Like we said, virtually the entire team is from Boston. So at some time or other, they played in here. They've either played in BNBL championship in this gym, or they played in rec leagues in this gym,
game,
right?
Maybe.
They played out in the field house. So they're prideful. So they don't want to let anyone come in. And I mean, if they're going to lose, they're going to at least make it a game. All right? It'd be miraculous for them to come back from 27 down at halftime to win, but anything's possible.
Sure.
It's just, but if anything else, I'm expecting to see these RCC players come out and really give it everything, be a little more under control, be far more careful with the basketball. Their turnovers killed them. Turnovers killed them in the first half. So they can cut those down, make some open shots. We may end up with a closer game.
And you look at the two rosters, and as you mentioned, a lot more experience for Bunker Hill, a lot more sophomores on this roster compared to RCC, which is two sophomores, everybody else freshmen. Despite this being community college, there's still a big jump from the high school level to this level, and you can see it with the size, athleticism, and even basketball intelligence at this level.
No doubt about that, and that's why it's a lot of players, like you said, who are stars in high school. They come up to community college or junior college level and just have this expectation that they're going to continue being a star without working as hard. It doesn't happen. You know, working hard with your talent goes hand in hand in your development, and that's what decides whether you're going to continue to be a top-notch player. Because we see it all the time. We do 2 games a year, but every game we virtually see players who we've seen in high school, either on the girls' side or on the boys' side.
Sure.
And sometimes they're good, they're decent players, but we haven't really seen any player who we saw as a star in high school be a star here as a freshman. This doesn't happen.
True. That's very true. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, some guys, they don't hit their growth spurt till they get to college, or some guys, sometimes it just doesn't click for certain guys until they get to college.
I'll tell you, I can remember for maybe 2 or 3 years, or must be 3 years ago, Terrace Wilson's a good example from Bunker Hill. Okay, he's a sophomore, second year. He's playing well, but remember when he was like a junior at Charlestown, he was dunking and running the floor, rebounding. We're thinking about this, he's going to go college.
Yeah, Division II. I know he was looking at Assumption.
Right.
A lot of Northeast 10 schools.
Yeah. But so now for him, it seems like it's kicked in because the time he was out there, he was putting it all on the floor. He was rebounding, nice passes. Like you said, that hard drive he had, you thought he was going to try to finish with a dunk. And so now for him, he's putting himself in a good position to really have an opportunity to get to a 4-year school.
Sure. And I think, for some of these guys, too, who might have gone to a 4-year school for their first year in college basketball and then sort of had a tough time adjusting because they talk about this all the time when you go up a level. Some guys just are used to being sort of the man at their level, and then they go to the next level and they're just like everybody else.
And when it doesn't work out, you just got to hit the reset button.
That's right.
And that's where, in a lot of cases, that's what junior college and community college is all about.
Well, we saw the women's side earlier, and RCC is clearly one of the best women's community college programs at the Division III level in the country. They proved that by winning the national championship. We talk about Coach Lessig going around the country and recruiting for players to come here. That's one thing that I think Coach Townsell's really going to have to focus on. Not that he wouldn't anyway, but you look at the Reggie Lewis Center. This is a recruiting tool.
No doubt about it.
No
doubt about it. Right.
You see the national championship banner, not just the men, but the women too. If you see a women's program that's that successful, you got to I'm sure that kind of energizes the men's program as well.
And that's one of the lessons that the first-year coach will learn from a game like this. I mean, I have no idea what his expectations were, but your teams tend to always look good in practice against each other. Okay,
right.
So when the bell rings for the real games, you never fully know how your guys are going to react and how they're going to play until you're in the game. And now you've seen one half of Coach Townsend's first season, first game. So now let's see what the second half is, and this is going to tell a lot about how much the players believe in his system, how much they're going to try to make it work, and basically how much they're going to do a good job of playing together. They just missed a lot of open teammates.
Sure.
But part of that, not to really be critical, just part of that is they're all anxious to get back, to cut into that lead. So a couple of times the extra pass just wasn't there. So if that can happen the second half, they'll be surprised how when they make a little bit of a run, it'll mean something, because then they'll energize them on the defensive ends, and they can probably get some stops.
We always mention it with young high school players, how sometimes when they get down by a lot, they want to get it all back at once. They want to
jack them up. And
they have that tunnel vision.
Go deeper and deeper out. Right.
Yeah. And they have that tunnel vision on a fast break where they don't see the player in the corner, or they don't see the easy pass that they could just make for an even easier shot than they're about to get. We're sort of seeing that with this RCC team, and because of the youth, I'm wondering if some of these guys just haven't learned that. I mean, for some of these guys, it's their first college basketball game.
Absolutely right. And it's like I said, all the factors, you're all part of it. Big crowd, your students are here, your friends are here, some of the families here.
Sure.
It's a home game, and you
just had the festivities for the women's game before.
Everybody wants to do well, and Bunker Hill comes in here loose, ready to play. Like you said, bunch of sophomores. And
a lot of these guys have played against each other.
There you go, and it makes it tough. But what I like is the fact that now RCC has the chance. They have the challenge. I mean, they made it a much bigger challenge than it probably should have been.
Right.
But they have the challenge. Okay, we got to dig in. We've really got to dig in. I think the coach was probably going to have to help them out by going deeper into the bench to keep fresh legs out there, because it's all about defense right now. They've got a defense and rebounding. That's the only thing that's going to get them back in this game.
Without question. And certainly, we don't know what's going to happen with the end of this game. Certainly, it's going to take a lot for Roxbury to come back. But I'm not sure if they play Bunker Hill later on in the year.
They play them out there.
They usually play them. They usually have a home and home at some point during the season.
Right.
How many times do you see it at all levels where you play one team earlier in the year and you get beat up pretty good, and then the next game you come back and it's a battle?
Yeah.
It always seems like that happens on the high school level, the college level, and no matter what happens to Roxbury here tonight, that could happen later on in the season.
That's the whole mental part of the game. That's exactly what it is. It's all about, wow, they really punched us in the face. So what are we going to do? Are we just going to stand here and fall down, or are we going to try to punch back?
Right. Sometimes it's a wake-up call for teams when they are down by this much. We're just about ready to start the second half here at the Reggie Lewis Center in Roxbury.
Can't believe we talked all the way through halftime. Huh?
Well, there's plenty to talk about. You got a national championship banner. You got things to say, but certainly
I just want to see some effort. I just want to see some effort from the Tigers. I really do. They have the athletes to do it. They have the athletes. They have some shooters, but they got to box out. They got to defend. They got to get the loose balls. We always talk about body language. Look at Bunker Hill kids. They're totally confident.
They're all loose.
They're all exactly
on the tips of their toes. RCC's looking at the scoreboard like,
they're looking up and saying, let's get 56 more.
Yeah. Well, coming out of the half, it's going to be Bunker Hill with possession and a 27-point lead. Bulldogs back out there with their starters.
See, Roxbury's going to this 2-3 zone.
And that runner again short. That goes out of bounds back to RCC.
I think he was actually trying to pass it to Anselm. Anselm didn't read it the same way. So let's see if they've made an adjustment to break this press. There you go. Yeah, that's an adjustment right there. Baseline shot. Oh.
Broadway.
There you go.
That shot is good from Jared Mosley.
Yeah, Mosley gets a inside little jump hook.
Mosley just one of the 2 sophomores on this RCC team. And that one unable to fall that time. And quickly down the other end is Broadway with the layup.
Good job, because Goddard went up for the block. Somehow Broadway angled it to the backboard. Good job.
Lining up a 3, and that one goes out of bounds as Francois unable to hit that one.
Now, first chance for RCC to get 3 hoops in a row. Swing.
Here comes Cherry, stopping, popping. He was short with that one. Looked like he was unsure of shooting it or passing it.
That's indecision always gets you in trouble.
Digby with a good offensive rebound. Goddard off the up fake, but he gets it poked away. Here comes Hodges. Scoring the layup. 6-0 run to start off the half for RCC. They dump it down inside to Hilaire, who ends the
we saw a lot of
Bunker Hill.
Saw a lot of that in the first half. The big fellas for Bunker Hill running that baseline, getting open. There you go. That's the swing pass you were talking about in the first half. Keep the ball moving. Defense can't move that fast. Take that shot. There you go.
Wide open 3 for Hodges. That went off the back rim. And Tevin Charles comes away with the loose ball. Now it's Francois. Hilaire underneath.
Yeah, that penetration, it brings the RCC defense off the baseline, leaving the big fellas for open layups.
A good skip pass over to Hodges for an open 3. Charles on the outlet pass scores the layup.
Yeah, Tevin's tough on the open floor.
That Roxbury 6-0 run has just evaporated.
Gone. Exactly. Yeah.
Cherry rattles home the jumper. And that one is good inside from a Digby. Goddard out on the break, another flush for Zach Goddard.
Yeah, Barry knows he made a bad play, trying to dribble through 3 guys.
Barry inside, gets it poked away. Nice play there by Hilaire. Goddard stopping, popping. And a really good hustle play there by Cherry. That leads to an easy layup. Digby from the elbow doesn't fall for him.
Like the effort by Mosley. Yeah, Jared's he's putting it all out there.
Top of the key for Mosley. That one off the back rim.
Watch that baseline cut again. That's how Bunker Hill attacks the zone. The big kid, 23, is gonna flash the baseline.
Francois.
Oh, didn't need him on that one. Francois, a little dip of the shoulder and freed himself up.
29-point lead here for Bunker Hill with 5.5 minutes gone by here in the second half. RCC takes a timeout. A little bit better execution offensively.
Say, right, I think it's the same thing. An effort.
But defensively,
defensively,
not
you
so
still
much.
get the breakdowns. Yeah, that's it's almost as if they're just unsure of when to drop down and when to stay up, because like you said, 2 out of those 4 hoops by Bunker Hill were baseline layups.
If you're RCC, I mean, there are some shooters over on Bunker Hill, but they haven't hit many threes here tonight. Do you pack it in a little bit and just let them launch?
You could actually. That's one of the things you may think about, because they're having a tough time boxing out. Bunker Hill's continuing to get second shots, so you got to take those second shots away somehow. But I think you're right. I mean, it seems like it's taking a big chance because Bunker Hill can hit shots, but like we always say, three-pointers, the long three-pointers are a low percentage shot, especially compared to baseline layup. Right. Because RCC is really struggling to get, just to limit Bunker Hill to 1 shot. But I have to say, I like the effort, though. I mean, they come out.
It has picked up.
Now, a lot of times we've seen basketball teams come out being down by more than 20 points at halftime and just sort of go through the motions. So that part of it you gotta like. But the effort has to go along with execution. Quick ball movement, swing the ball, go swing. The point you made about being, kids who have been the main guy in high school are used to having the ball and holding on to the ball. Whereas next level, that's one of the worst things you can do is hold the ball too long.
Francois unable to get that one to go. 2-on-1 here for RCC, and Cherry has to pull it back out. Cherry on the drive. Unable to finish. He made a nice move.
That was good effort, though.
Going back to that point, too, you talk about players who always have the ball in their hands in high school. Because of that, they don't really know how to move without the ball.
Right. They're just expecting, they're waiting for the teammate to give it to them.
Wide open layup off the steal there for Broadway.
Yeah, Broadway made a nice steal, nice poke steal there and finished the layup. Gonna be a held ball. Good job. You're seeing RCC go to the floor. It'll be RCC ball. Chance, another chance to put back-to-back hoops together. And with 13-13 to go, right now you talk about goals. You gotta get within, I'd say, within 15 by the 10-minute mark, which is doable. It's just they need, like I said,
they need a run.
Need some stops.
Cherry on the drive, unable to finish, up and under again.
That's going to be a play control foul on that one.
Goddard using the forearm to make
those
some
long arms, right? Exactly. looking like a tailback.
Yeah. The Heisman pose doesn't work in basketball.
I think what's interesting, we're not seeing Bunker Hill go to their bench like they did in the first half. These starters here played these first 7 minutes. Yeah, nice three. There you go.
Three-pointer made by Mike Hodges. Desperately needed for RCC.
That's the one. He's taken 3 so far, the Saf, from the same side, so he made that one. But you got to get a stop.
Goddard looking to answer, and he does.
Yeah, that's the same. Look at the same shot. Brings it all the way behind his back, behind his head.
Impossible to block, too, when you shoot like that. Lead back to 27 for Bunker Hill. Cherry on the drive. able to score off the
Oh,
window.
that's good. He shot 2 of them short, so that time he used the backboard.
Got a row.
Wow. He's answering everything. It's amazing. I mean, it's one thing to have a high-scoring game when there's no defense, but these guys, they're putting the effort out on defense. It's just there's better offense. Let's shoot the ball.
And Mosley short with that one. I think he was worried about the clock and just trying to get it up. Tapping no good that time from Hilaire. And good defense inside from the Tigers. Here comes Barrett.
They give it up.
Offensive foul.
Yeah, I had to get that one.
Suleiman Barrett.
Dribble the ball that far against defense, and usually something bad's going to happen.
And usually for a big too, when they make a nice rebound on that end and then they give it up and then run the floor,
they usually get it back.
Always seems like they outrun the other big on the other squad for an easy layup.
That's what I was saying. Then you gotta give it up. See, you foul out? No, I think that should be 4 on him. Yeah, that's Barry's 4th foul.
So once again, the size goes out for the Tigers.
That's when they really had problems in the first half.
Right. We'll see if Bunker Hill takes advantage of it here.
So Ortiz came in for Barry.
Mosley.
Oh, wow. Too bad. Right idea, because he had the pass coming back out top, but just took the extra step before he let it go. There's a travel there, yeah.
Right, True Hart.
That was a more obvious travel than this one.
It's almost like True Hart.
Maybe the officials were waiting for the other guy to blow the whistle.
True Hart, after he did it too, he kind of looked around like, did I just get away with that?
Yeah.
I guess I'll shoot it. RCC taking a timeout. 10 seconds and 10 minutes left to go here in the second half. And unfortunately, the Tigers haven't cut into this deficit.
No, but you got to give Bunker Hill credit. I mean, they played under control when they've needed to. Nice little run there offensively for them when they needed it. Francois come out hitting the 3. You had Gattaro hit the layup and then banged the 3. So that team got a lot of weapons. When you look at it, they got a lot of weapons. I mean, it's one of those situations where, you know, you start out the season with a game like this, and coaches are just thinking, wow, I hope all these kids stay healthy and eligible. Because it's not overpowering size, but
it's good size.
It's good, right? It's good size, and they have so many of them. Right. You're talking about.
They have a lot of depth.
Okay, you look here. You're talking about 6'3", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 6'5", 6'7", 6'8", 6'8". All right, now that's competitive. I mean, and
for a community college basketball team, that's
exactly.
Good size.
And it's clear that they all know what they're supposed to do. That's the difference. A lot of times you have big kids who are just sort of out there. Whatever happens, happens, right? But these kids know that they move well on the baseline. I tell you, Johnny Hilaire, the 23, he's done a really good job just sliding to the baseline to the open spot. Now they've gone to their bench. They've brought in, let me see, Wilson. Tevin Child sat down.
And Ortiz was fouled on his way to the basket.
Yeah, it's going to be a hold. Yeah.
So that'll stay with RCC.
The problem with the offense right now is that Bunker Hill defense is forcing these passes on the wing outside the shooting range. This guy's got to pass it and step in.
And nobody home after that pass from Ortiz.
Mosley just wasn't on same page with Ortiz.
We mentioned the size before.
Got deflected though. It actually got deflected. Okay.
Okay, so we'll stay with RCC. You mentioned the size before with Bunker Hill. That just doesn't mean down low. When you have guys in the wing who
exactly and they have active hands. That's the key.
And they do exactly what you just mentioned. They force their opponents to play further away from the basket.
Oh, good hustle.
And it results in
that was good hustle.
In an easy basket right there as Kari Trueheart is able to score the layup.
You know, I'm starting to get the feeling that Bunker Hill has some really tough practices. You know, because they have so many players, it's going to be a block and fly game. They have so many players, but the kind of hustle you're seeing, it's as if they scrimmage each other and really have some tough competition.
And you talk about the depth before for this Bunker Hill team. If you don't play hard, you're just going to come out because there's another guy right behind you that can do just as well as you can.
And that's an ideal situation for a coach.
Ortiz, again, unable to hit from three. Good hustle by Hodges. Put back, no good. Wilson straight to the goal. The shot is blocked inside as Cherry couldn't find an opening. Three-pointer on the way for Jakari Trueheart.
That's just unselfish play.
Right.
I mean, they could have forced up a layup attempt, but instead didn't have his steps right. Kicked it back out. Trueheart helped him out by banging the three.
And that one rattles home for Eimer Ortiz. 30-point deficit for RCC here with just over 8 minutes left to go. Here, Coach Townsend, you got to think just get some kind of run together where you put a couple of baskets together, get a couple of stops, because you just haven't seen that all game.
Exactly right, Pat. That's been the toughest thing for them to do. Just like you described, style at the half. Six straight points, then you gave up 6 straight points. I'd say the big fella did a good job.
He had a nice second half.
Did a really good job.
Coming back in the game for the Tigers is Hollister Elliott. And
I mean, we can't point any of the Bunker Hill players who went out and just had a bad time. They were either not really involved, but
didn't really make any big mistakes.
There you go. Right, didn't make any mistakes. Right. That makes a big difference.
Trueheart looking for another one, and he gets it.
Right. Either side, right?
As soon as I say that they're not going to hit any threes, Trueheart's hit a couple. Goddard's hit one.
You see, the coaches, they can yell at all the guys on the side, see, our system works. It works, it works, it works.
Mosley. That's stuffed by Richardson. Good skip pass over to Trueheart.
He was trying for
looking for a heat check.
Yeah, right. He was trying for that 3 for 3.
Nice pass inside to Mosley, who can't squeeze it home.
Well, so you got his last shot blocked. That stays in your head. Swing it Trueheart. There you go.
Wilson for 3.
Wow.
Everybody's knocking him down from deep for Bunker Hill.
This is a tough debut, I'll tell you, for both the players and coaches for RCC. The freshman's got to be really frustrated. Coaches looking for answers.
.621 left to go here in the second half. Bunker Hill on top of Roxbury Community College, 84-48. And this game is probably out of hand at this point. RCC just kind of looking for minor goals now.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. I mean, okay, we're stuck on 48 for the last couple of minutes. Let's get it to 60 as quick as possible. Try to get a few stops. Tough way to start things out.
But one thing that I think Coach Townsend can say when they have practice tomorrow, whenever they come back together as a group, guys, it's the first game of the year, probably the first college basketball game for a lot of these players.
And
certainly not the way you wanted to start, but you can just wipe the slate clean.
And don't be surprised if it turns out that this might be one of the best teams you play this season.
Sure.
I mean, there may be a couple other really good teams, but the way Bunker Hill has come out, I mean, they have a lot of weapons.
It's coming out of the timeout, RCC with the basketball. Looking to try to put together any kind of run here in the last 6:21 of this ball game.
Well, I keep saying all day, back-to-back baskets have been the toughest challenge for them. They just have not been able to do it.
Wide open underneath his Cherry, but he gets his shot blocked. Wow. They call the foul.
Well, yeah, Wilson got the clean block. The foul's underneath. Yeah. Oh, they call him Wilson. I guess Wilson got his head with the arm on the block.
So Lawrence Cherry back at the free throw line.
One thing about Cherry, he's not bashful about going to the basket. Not the biggest guy. He's listed at 6 feet, but he's gone to the basket hard. Had some bad luck on a few of them that rimmed out, but got a couple of blocks. But he's you gotta like that for looking toward the rest of the season. I think the coaches, they'll notice how he's really been hard and fearless going to the hoop.
Wilson on the fadeaway.
And confidence is just an amazing thing when it comes to shooting.
And Barry off the mark that time. The alley-oop, and Wilson unable to put it home. Timing was a little bit off on that one. Barry scores off the window.
You know what's funny, Pat? I'm noticing when Bunker Hill scores, the most noise we're hearing is from the Bunker Hill women's team across the way.
And that three is good from Jannard Jones.
Well, it's funny. the suggestion you made about 5 minutes ago about, let's just take everything away inside and, leave the shooters open. Yeah, it is the dunk you're waiting for, right?
Something we're familiar with.
Yeah. I don't think that, RCC exactly did that, but they have been trying to concentrate on rebounding better, and that's leaving these three-point shooters wide open.
Well, as you said, Bunker Hill can certainly go to the rim and score inside. If they can shoot like this consistently throughout the season, they're going to be a real tough team to beat.
Tough team because they go so deep.
It's again Wilson out on the break.
Wilson loves running the floor.
Coach Townsville calls a timeout here with 3:53 left to go. Now I think he's starting to see some of the guys start to sulk.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's naturally going to happen with this type of score.
Well, in being young, the toughest thing for a coach to fight against is when a player is starting to feel embarrassed, and that's frankly what's happening right here. The kids, like you said, the sulking, heads down.
Sure.
Taking some ill-advised shots. You get, taking 2 deep threes, and you miss them, the team runs away from you.
3:53 left to go in this one. Bunker Hill starting off the season. I don't know if they could have started off any better than they have here tonight. They'll probably get to triple digits.
Yeah, on the road. Got a lot of plays, and they got a lot of plays in the game. And so, the value of that is that when everyone goes to practice, they're all anxious. They're all excited because they know, okay, well, I played 8 minutes. I played 9 minutes, and especially for the freshmen who really don't know what to expect. So you get the guys on board now. Now, the key is going to be when they have their first close game and how that turns out, because clearly their starting lineup is a little bit of a step above the rest of the players. So when you get a situation where the starters end up playing the bulk of the minutes, then are your backup guys going to stay as enthusiastic? But that's the same with all teams. Everybody's on the team because they want to play. This goes nice three.
That three's knocked down by Broadway. That three that time was short from Bernard Jones. Ortiz to the corner. Broadway again for 3. That time off the mark. Wilson, beautiful pass inside, layup no good. Richardson tapping no good, and gets the ball poked away.
I think they're out of timeouts.
So RCC calls a timeout without any timeouts. That'll be a technical foul. Bunker Hill will be shooting free throws.
Yeah, we're talking about how Bunker Hill off to start. And for the RCC, it's in a different kind of way. This helps them understand the kind of challenge they're going to deal with. I mean, I believe they're missing, let's see.
Oliver Benner, who we saw over at Charlestown, he's out tonight. He's in street clothes.
That's a big kid. So, so
he's got some good size. He's a versatile player.
A little bit of size, right. Yeah. So hopefully if he gets back to, help the front line along with Berry. But overall, a lot of breakdowns in terms of them, of the not sharing the ball enough at crucial parts of the game. And like we both noticed, a lot of loose balls were gobbled up by Bunker Hill. pass, he's just either any pass inside, the Bunker Hill kids are just swallowing him up. Foul is going to be on Trueheart, but
and Ortiz knocks down the three. Answering is Jannard Jones.
Those are the girls over there. Yeah, they're all making their night a little better, right?
They didn't have a lot to cheer about in their game.
They
so
had
I think
nothing to cheer about. The only thing they cheered about was when it was over.
Right.
That was a tough game.
Yeah, that was a tough one for the Bunker Hill ladies basketball team. As bad as this one's been for RCC, not nearly as bad for the Bunker Hill women's team, who suffered a very devastating loss earlier today, as the RCC women's team unveiled their national championship banner.
And the new player, the team with 8 freshmen, like you said, had that very impressive win.
And that one's poked out of bounds. That'll stay with Roxbury Community College. And Kari Trueheart with the drive that time.
Nice left-handed drive finish.
And we saw him knock down a few threes earlier, that time taking it to the basket well. And Mosley is able to convert.
See, we're seeing what these last couple of times down the court show what happens when RCC try to go man. Probably a bonus. Well, you know, the point you made earlier about how different a team can be from November to January. I'll be really interested to see what this RCC men's team looks like in January. With all the freshmen and the first-year coach trying to figure out combinations, roles, a system. Looking forward to seeing the difference.
Because a first-year head coach could come into a season wanting to play a certain way and have a certain system, and then a couple of weeks in
might
say,
not match. Right.
This just isn't working. We're going to have to try something else.
There you go. Right. Yeah, we may see some of that.
See Ortiz trying to feed Broad way inside. Under a minute to go here at the Reggie Lewis Center. Wide open underneath is Hodges.
One of the very few breakdowns on the baseline defensively for Bunker Hill. And like you said, it doesn't happen until less than a minute ago.
Right. Bunker Hill with 98 points. We'll see if they can get to the century mark. But as Roxbury tries to work.
Yeah, they just kind of let it run out. I mean, this is, you know, I don't know if they want to prevent Bunker Hill from getting to 100, but.
Right. So McIntosh commits the foul. Now
he's shooting.
Deron Broadway will be at the free throw line with a 1-on-1. He's unable to convert. Taris Wilson with the rebound. 20 seconds left to go here for Bunker Hill. And a very impressive way to open the season for the Bunker Hill Bulldogs against crosstown rival Roxbury Community College Tigers.
Like you said, they will play again at Bunker Hill. That'd be an interesting matchup.
Final score here at the Reggie Lewis Center: Bunker Hill 98, RCC 61. And you really just see two programs in sort of two different points and where they are at the start of the year. We mentioned the brand new head coach for Roxbury Community College. You got a lot of freshmen who sort of are experiencing college basketball for the first time. Meanwhile, Bunker Hill has a coach who's been there for a little while. Then you have a lot of sophomores sprinkled in with some freshmen to go along with some size, and you got a pretty good recipe for a good community college team.
Your point is actually made right here at the bottom of the roster. Tevin Charles, Trueheart, Terrace Wilson, Johnny Hilaire. And the big kid, 35. So those 5 all sophomores.
That's right.
There's the experience you're talking about.
Sure.
Confidence, playing under control, and that's the like you said, the real opposite situation. So, yeah, I mean, I've known head coach Nkrumah Jones for a long time, and I know he's elated to have a team like this.
Right.
Yeah. It's I remember a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, Bunker Hill won a game at the buzzer on a questionable call.
Oh, I remember that. Yes,
questionable call, whether it was shot was off, in time or not. And after the game, before the game, he'd say, "Can we get a copy of the tape?" Well, and say, "Okay, we'll see what we can do." After the game, he said, "I don't need a copy of the tape. I don't want it.
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know what really happened."
Right.
Yeah.
We'll just take the W and get out of the building.
That's exactly what it was. Right.
Well, they're going to want a copy of this game here tonight.
This was a
very convincing win.
I'll tell you. And believe it or not, this kind of game, I really think will have the Bunker Hill players even playing harder at practice.
Sure.
Because they know in their division and in this whole region, there are really tough, big teams who they'll have to face. So, a great start, obviously, but you want to build on it, you want to improve on it, because they have a chance to have a special season.
Without question, and certainly proved here tonight that they are ready for a good season on the Bunker Hill side of things. Meanwhile, RCC, they dropped to 0-1 on the season, but obviously it's very early here for both these teams. I want to thank everyone for joining us here for another production of Roxbury Community College basketball on the Boston Neighborhood Network. We'll say so long for now. We'll see you next time in the winter in January when we'll see both the women's and men's team again for another doubleheader. For right now, so long, everybody. Take care. Have a good night.